They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Well, tip-top tap for the morning to you, my friends. I'm Josh Norbito, and to my left, I've got Nick K.
That's right, friends. I'm Nick K, and I used to play in a band. Bram, bram, bram.
Whoops, I said your name by accident. I got a little too ahead of myself. But this is the Magic Guys podcast, episode 217, where we as professional magicians talk about our lives, the gig life, the shenanigans that go with it, interview cool guests, and we chat live with our fellow listeners on YouTube. Because Nick, we have just as many listeners, if not maybe more now, in audio land as we do watching on YouTube. So it's kind of funny. We have like a demographic we rock with and we chat live who are basically part of the show. Then we have the people that watch it afterwards. And then there are some people that don't even know that we're bald. So it's quite a funny listenership that we have collected here. But
I wonder what people think we actually look like. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't know what we looked like, what would Josh Norbito? I think you look exactly what you sound like personally. But if someone were to be like, I've never seen Nick K and I don't know what he looks like. And I tell you what, if you are one of those listeners who has heard our voices and does not know what we look like, maybe other than the actual, the logo that we have where we've been turned into cartoons, send us a speak pipe and let us know what you think we actually look like. That'd be really funny.
That would be funny. Because that happened to me so many times where before people were doing video podcasts, I would listen to podcasts and just imagine what those people looked like. And then most of the time, it's always underwhelming when you do, like it never seems to match their voice when I would see people. And I wonder if that exists to someone else. So that's pretty cool.
100%. Yeah. And of course, the guys who are here in the chat, great to see you. Let's give you guys a quick shout out. We have Thomas Conger, Tim Askin, Scotty Link, Scotty P. And we have Jesse Chapman. Thanks for coming in. And of course, our good friend, Lamb. How are you, handsome friend? Like we said, guys, we do love it when you send in some speak pipes, and we actually got one this morning that's kind of a heavy one. We were debating whether or not we share it in the spirit of today, because today's going to be a fun one. But I said that in the spirit of what Magic Guys is that we are there as a community and we are there for each other. So I said, let's line it up. Let's see what the community has to say about this speak pipe. It's a heavy one, so open your ears and open your hearts to what needs to be said. Go for it, Josh.
Hey, y'all. Hope you're doing well. So I am currently on my way to a gig. And yesterday I found out that my father passed away from cancer. And I thought I would be, okay to go do this gig. And as I am driving there, I am having a more difficult time than I had imagined. And, obviously this episode would come out after today, but, I'm just curious if anybody ever, unfortunately finds themselves in a similar situation, if you have any words of advice or words of encouragement or anything of the sorts. Cheers.
So that was from our friend Seth. I think Seth's in the chat, if I've got the right Seth. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And we're going to send you a speak pipe back to you as well off air. But first and foremost, we hope you're doing well, my friend. And thank you for being vulnerable and sending it in, because it is something that entertainers go through, which is not that specific situation, but having shitty things in our lives happen. But we still have to light up the room and entertain an audience. It's a weird byplay. So Nick, first, it's unfortunate that Doug isn't here today, because he has probably experienced more of that, just having lived a longer life. He might have had a more perspective. But we'll start with you, Nick.
But before I say anything, again, condolences, buddy. And as well as everyone in the chat is lighting up, sending their love to you, buddy, and our hearts go out to you. And terribly sorry for your loss. And you know, as we said, Doug has been in the game a lot longer than ourselves because he's, you know, 6,000 years old, and we suspect he might be Santa Claus. But for myself, who's been in the game for currently 17 going on 18 years, I have experienced things of this nature. Okay. And it is an experience. Let's just acknowledge that. Good or bad, it is an experience. I'm gonna tear off the Band-Aid and just share a very, very personal experience of mine. I was booked to do a show after a serious breakup with my fiance. Okay, not my girlfriend, not my, but like fiance. We were to get married. This is a long time ago now, because she was ill and, like your father, kind of on her way out, and she didn't want me to stick around for it and was like, "I'm leaving you now. I'm going to run away and die," effectively. Okay, I've never told anyone this story, but I think in the spirit of what's going on, I'm going to bare my soul because you need to hear this. That morning I woke up and I didn't want to exist. I didn't want to get up and I didn't want to do anything. Okay. But I had a show that day and I mustered the strength to do it. I did the show, and not only did I did the show, I crushed it. And what I took away from it is a couple of things that I want to share with you. The first thing is that, like, regardless of whether or not you're at your highest or your lowest, it's the type of thing that when you approach an audience, that you have a job and your job is to make them happy and to make others smile. It's a very selfless act, I think is the right word I'm looking for, where you put your own inhibitions aside and your own feelings because you're there to give. It is a gift, and you give and you give. So if you went forward with it and you did do the gig, power to you, buddy. Like, that is exactly what it's about. And it is a challenge, okay? And it's not supposed to be easy, but if you get through it, power to you, okay? Second thing I'll make mention to synopsisize that is, do not bleed on anyone who didn't cut you. You could be having a bad day, but it's not your right to take your day out on anyone because you've had a bad day. That's not only while you're performing, that's just in life, okay? You can't go and kick in the teeth of someone who's ruined your coffee order, for example, you know, nor can you get to a gig and be like, "Stop heckling me, you prick, my dad just died." Like, that's not really something you can do. Like, you grace the stage. You don't even tell people that your life sucks or that you're struggling in that moment. You get up and you do your job, and then you go and hurt you deal with that later. And again, it's not an easy thing to do, but it is something you do. And I'll finish what I have to say by saying that after that set, right, that I had done, this was very early in my career, I went there, I did my set, and I crushed it. And then I was offered like my first Melbourne Magic Festival show from that, right? They said, like, "This was amazing. Will you come and please do a show? We're going to give you a discount on 5 nights to do a whole week of shows. We think you're brilliant," right? What I took away from it was that even at my lowest, even at my all-time low, I was still brilliant and I was still able to make others smile. And it was through that I kind of learned what the purpose, what my personal purpose was, and what the purpose of being a magician was. And it's also a good way to keep marching forward, you know, and having that strength, that personal strength, and also doing it in honor of the person you might have lost or whatever's going through your life. It's all character building in the end, okay? I've also had to do this when my grandmother passed away, who was my, like, best friend in the whole world, you know what I mean? And, like, I was never going to be prepared for when she was going to leave the earth. And she didn't leave in a bad way. She just literally fell asleep and didn't wake up again. No one was expecting it, you know what I mean? But it happens, and you keep it together until you can have an opportunity to lose it. And I hope that's a good enough advice for what you're taking away. But, like, you got through it. It's character building. No one can tell you how to mourn. It's okay to hold it in for a moment to get through a situation and then mourn when you have the moment. It's not as if, you know, people might say, "You can't be doing that. You need to this." It's like, no. You don't know how I mourn. I will mourn how I need to mourn. So I think those are enough sort of dot points that I have to say. But again, sorry for your loss, and power to you for getting through it as well.
And that's our episode. We've been the Magic Guys, and
Make sure you check out our website, buy our merch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, buy your merch. Yeah, Nick said it well. I won't sit here and pretend like that I have a similar story to compare it to. I just know that no one knows what you're going through except you. I mean, looking at our comments here, Seth gave us an update. He's live in the chat, which all of you should be. He said, "Magic. It's a huge testament to the power of magic because I was able to put everything aside for 45 minutes and be fully present. Kids and parents enjoyed the show." And that particular comment, yeah, that's amazing. Do we have some applause?
Matt, we are so proud of you, brother.
Yeah, like that's that feeling, like being able to table your feelings and make everyone enjoy a show, like Nick said, be giving. The only thing I can liken this to, and it's completely separate to what Seth has gone through, but a lot of listeners who've been listening for a while know that I live with Crohn's disease, which doesn't affect me day to day now because it is controlled with medication. So every month I get like an infusion. And anyone else with going through this kind of thing, reach out if you're ever like struggling or don't know what to do. Because as a performer, like it can, when it's affecting you, dramatically affect your energy levels. And when it was first flaring up and not controlled, and I didn't know what was going on, it was sort of around the time that I was doing Australia's Got Talent, actually. But that first corporate December season where you're doing like multiple gigs every single day, and I was like losing weight and didn't know what was going on, and I had zero energy. And when I mean zero, I mean if I sit down on a couch too long, like I'm out, I'm asleep. So there was like a day where I had to do 4 gigs, and I was just like, for some reason, the moment I start doing the gig, I could table aside all of that shit and no energy and still give everyone a great time. And I felt great and I had all this energy. And then for some reason, magic would like allow that to, it almost like pauses what's going on in your life. It lets you do this thing that you love in this art and perform for everyone. And then I would get in my car and just be like, oh my God, I'm like, I can't do anything else. And then I would have a Red Bull. I'd sit in my car. I'd be like, I don't know where this energy is going to pull from, but let's see what happens. And I get out, and then all of a sudden it would be a great time, and I'd do the gig and everything like that. And then I'd worry about my life afterwards. So yeah, magic, like, so don't let what you're going through necessarily stop you from going out to perform is what I would say. But also don't feel like you can 100% tell a client like, hey, something's come up and I won't be able to do your event. And then you just find someone else to be in their place and stuff. Never feel like you have to commit to that, still to do the thing because you think you'll never get another gig again if people know you've cancelled on one. Don't let that be a thing. But yeah, it will be a positive outcome is I guess what we're saying. Yeah, let's all show some love to Seth. And look, thanks for sharing, man. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. We are here for you. We are here for you all again. So if you guys are always welcome to send in your speak pipes with any questions. We love getting those. We try to address them as quickly as we can to make sure we can help you guys in any way, getting you through whatever situation you're going through in this life or in the magic one. So
yeah, I like Tim to just put a comment sharing some some fun on this. I see a new podcast for you guys, the Magic Guys Support Group. Man, if there was a support group for magicians, there is one actually. It's called Magicians Only on Facebook. It's a bunch of whinging performers that all want, to be told that they're doing something good. But anyway, I digress. Yep. We have an episode today called Would You Rather? And we thought we'd put each other in funny situations where both outcomes are bad, but you have to pick one. And we're going to go back to back. Nick's going to start with the first one. And we're going to just see, what would we choose? We want to see in the chat what you would choose as well. Let's have some fun.
Okay, question number 1. Would you rather flash your double lift in the first 5 seconds of every single gig you do for the rest of your life, or have a kind of tick where you accidentally say ta-da after every trick? So you're doing let's say that you're doing like an ambitious card routine, which is like 7 phases. and you like, and I go this, I snap my fingers and it comes to the top, ta-da, and then you just keep every single phase.
Holy crap. Or, okay, so I need to just ask, the double lift exposing, it's only happening for the first phase at a gig, or what?
Just for the first 5 seconds of that gig.
Just the gig, or every set you're doing?
Just the gig.
Roving.
Just the gig.
Okay. So only one person sees you do something terrible.
Well, it depends who you're showing it to. What if you get on stage and you got to execute a double lift, and you've got, you get on, Australia's Got Talent or something, and you've got millions of people watching you, and you got to execute one double lift, and it's like,
Look, there's some caveats to that, because exposing videos do great views online. So that video will actually do well. But then, yeah, you are having to always know that your art form is going to... Look, why am I messing around? I'm going to take the ta-da because I'm hoping people will find it endearing. And the magic is still going to be great because you're not exposing anything. Yeah, and in the chat, people are saying, Scott's saying, oh my God, that's a nightmare. Tim's saying, I'll take the ta-da. Gutbuster Mike saying, I'll take the ta-da. Jesse Champlin saying, wait, aren't we meant to say ta-da anyway? Alex is saying ta-da. Yeah, I think it's going to be ta-da because...
Oh my God, that's so crazy. I'm going to push back, fellas. I would take a flash because I would rather structure every single trick I do and never use a double lift for the rest of my life than have to do that after every trick.
But what if it means you can do whatever slides you want and they'll always be perfect? You can do you can do Blaze Sarah level stuff, perfection, but you will say ta-da after every revelation. Then what? Would you take
have
that?
Blaze Sierra's skill set in exchange for having a Tourette style tick in which I say ta-da.
You can take a shuffled deck and in one spread, it's a new deck order, but you say ta-da every time that happens.
Damn it.
You're taking that, right?
That's a good deal. I would take that. That's a very good deal. Yeah, I think I would take that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I win.
All right, number 2. This is for you, Nick, and the chat. Would you rather perform a kids' party with only mentalism or do your stage dove act at a vegan wedding? Jeez. So
That's
this
a good one, Judge.
So this is a one-off scenario. So there's a gig. Okay. You got to do a gig today. Are you doing a mentalism kids party, or are you doing a dove act at a vegan wedding?
Oh man, okay, that's a good one. I'm thinking that a mentalist show for kids could be pretty fun. But hear me out.
You know what's going to happen? Nick,
what?
Let's pretend we're doing a mentalist show right now. You're the mentalist, and you're asking me to like name a number or something like that, and I'm a kid. Okay.
All right. Hello, child. Focus. I know ADHD is a thing, and I have it too.
Hey.
Hi.
What's that in your pocket?
It's a gun. Behave yourself.
Yeah, my dad's got one of those.
Name your favorite Pokemon.
Banana!
Oh, that's a good Pokemon. Okay, underneath these 4 buckets is one Pokemon.
Wait, I got some teeter-totters in my pocket. One sec.
Okay. Is there enough for everyone? There better be enough for everyone. Okay, underneath this bucket is your favorite Pokemon.
My mom hangs out with my uncle a lot.
I hang out with your mom too. She's great. So underneath these 4 buckets, 1, 2, 3, and 4, choose one.
Why? Can I only have one of them?
You can have as many as you like.
Okay, I'll take these 2.
Great. All right, and then why don't you take one more?
Oh, what's this flap in here do? Beep! Ah! There's a spike in there!
Fuck it, I'm doing the dove act.
I reckon. I think it could be fun to do a kids show where it's like you ask them questions and you have two options. Like, I think it could be fun. Like, I think it would work. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, where it's like you got to choose the right one, otherwise
Yeah.
I'm gonna like you don't get your dog back or something like that. You know what I mean? Or you get a puppy at the end of it. Like it could be.
All right,
good.
kid. Now I'm all the way over here, but point to where you felt I touched you. Nick's about to spit up his coffee for those watching this. Yeah, and also Alex Lamb just commented saying, "Congrats, gentlemen! You've just encapsulated what it's like to be a teacher," because he's our teacher, magician, advocate here. But Scotty P's still picking the kids show.
I'd go a kids show. Mentalism. I don't do kids shows either, but I would probably choose that over having to upset a bunch of. The reason being is this, right? Like a kids party is a kids party, and they are important, but. How many parties are you going to have in your life? 100. If you live to 100, maybe even more, right? But a wedding, how many of those are you going to have in your lifetime? How many do you want to have? Like some people don't even want to have one. And I think that if you was to upset someone on their wedding day, I would find that harder to live with personally. So I'm going to go a kids show because I think that I could make that rock. So I'm going to settle on kids show. What is your choice?
I think the wrath of the kids is going to be worse than the wrath of angry wedding people, because the kids are going to grow up and they'll be around longer. I don't know.
They're not writing Google reviews. Kids aren't writing Google reviews. Who cares?
Yeah, that's true. Look, I'm not doing kid shows anyway, but I am doing wedding gigs. So I would like to continue doing wedding gigs. I probably don't care if I fluff up one kid show, but still, like, that's going to be brutal. No props, mentalism show, or some props, whatever. Your charisma will get you through it. It's not a good choice, but yeah, it's just all not good. I mean, at least a dove act is quick, like it's 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just gonna say dove act. Okay, I'll just go with that, man. and we'll move on. Yeah.
All right. Well, Gutbuster says kids act. Tim Askin says the kids act. That could be cool. Seth's is saying you could do like a book test with Go Dog Go. That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a fun one. Yeah, I would go for that. Okay, my turn for a question. All right, now here we go. Would you rather be heckled by a drunk uncle for 20 minutes or have a child call out the force, right, mid-show with like a constant, I know you did that. I know you did that. I know this one.
And they're gauging, like they're actually yelling out the method, like, that's a shell. It's
string. It's string.
And is he correct, or is he just like being a shit?
No, he's correct. He's 100% correct.
Or the drunk uncle is heckling, did you say? Or you're having a conversation
20 minutes of your act is just this uncle just...
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. The first 20 minutes, how much of a show is this?
I know, right? It'd be a big show.
Oh, that's bad. Oh my God. What is the chat thing? Drunk uncle, heckled. Imagine the views. You know what? Yeah. Crowd work, heckling video would be pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're both terrible, but I guess
they're supposed to be.
I guess you're picking the uncle because at least the uncle isn't exposing the methods. He's just being a drunk, annoying mess.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the person correctly shouting out the methods to what you're doing or about to do is very bad for us.
Right.
So if someone's saying, I come out on stage and they're like, why is there a bulge in your jacket? Is there a wine bottle in there?
Drunkle.
The drunkle. That's a good word. I like it.
That's a great word.
We've invented a few words in this podcast. Before you were on, Nick, we invented this word called liquid fluel. And then, now drunkle. I'm sure there was another one somewhere, but I like what's happening.
Okay,
Pick
I'm gonna
uncle.
go.
What are you picking?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna go the drunkle because if anyone was at the last theater or magic show that I did, which was, I don't know, to my knowledge, one of the worst heckling crowds that theater has ever seen, I can handle it. I can.
Yeah.
damn you. Yeah.
We've had. There's been 3 times that we have had to firmly warn people that they'll be asked to leave if they don't stop, but it's always been an individual person. This is the first time that you had like 4 people.
I had an army
all
of
talking.
assholes.
Yeah. And AA. Yeah. All right, let's go number 4. Would you rather have to use a Svengali deck for every card trick? Oh God. Or be forced to perform everything gimmick free for the rest of your life? What would you choose? I mean, that doesn't seem so bad. I mean,
Okay, hang on a second. Like when you say gimmick free, we're talking like no double cross, no shells, no flaps,
no holders for things.
no holdouts.
Yeah, it's got to be just whatever organically you would purchase something as.
No flash paper?
That's I guess that would be a gimmick.
That would be a gimmick. No indexes. Yeah. Oh my God, a life without indexes. I'd be miserable.
No indexes, no toppets.
Just a straight, no need for sleeve. Oh, could I sleeve?
Only, you can't have an altered suit, but you can sleeve as a.
There goes my career.
Yeah.
If I can't alter a suit, I don't even have a career. Shit.
Or you can have all of your gimmicks, but anytime you use a deck of cards, it's got to be a Svengali.
Oh.
That's bad, man.
Let me think. Okay, I'm walking you through my thought process, right? I'm going to verbalize what my brain is thinking.
I mean, so basically you have to become Gregory Wilson because he just tends to just borrow stuff and have some coins on him. And
yeah, taking the full spirit of Malini. Look, the Svengali deck is awesome. You could do some very cool stuff with it. You could probably do the best Akon in the most easy fashion. You could still do really cool stuff like card in the box. You could still do really cool things like that. Having cards signed would probably be a little more difficult.
You'll just never have any respect from magicians.
I think because I've spent so much of my past being entirely gimmickless prior to, naturally stepping into that realm in which you start using shells and this and that to elevate your magic and implementing gimmicks into your notion. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say entirely gimmickless.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Like, as in, like, walk into a room of magicians and borrow stuff and blow their minds. Like, I could survive like that, and I could also push myself further to keep being awesome. So that's my choice.
Does gimmicks also mean I can't use a stacked deck? Does that count as gimmicked?
I'm gonna say no. No.
Because if you're saying I can still use a stacked deck, I can still do all my coin magic essentially, except for the wine bottle. And I can still do rubber bands because I just buy normal rubber bands. I think I would be okay with doing just gimmickless magic forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that too. Gutbuster Mike also makes a good point. Who needs magicians' respect anyway?
Yeah, they're not going to hire us anyway. Screw those guys.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That is tough. All right.
Okay.
Let's carry on. That was good.
All right. So this was I wasn't really sure how to word this one, but this is my thought. It was, would you rather have to open every show with cups and balls using plastic cups, or close every show with sponge balls to music?
Whoa.
That's going to be hard to close.
Well, there is a Spanish magician who does a very good sponge ball act to music. And it is very impressive.
Gaston is amazing. Yeah. Gaston is his name.
Is it? And Yeah, he recently sent me one of his videos to react to, and even one of the phases he can do in his act is take the sponge ball, and he goes like this, and almost like a card spring, the sponge ball separates in midair into portions, and then he grabs it all again, and it goes back into the sponge ball. So stuff like that is very creative, and that's I would be happy doing that. Doing cups and
Let me
balls.
just reiterate. We're talking about every show.
Yeah. I guess the thing with it's plastic cups and balls. Why am I trying to talk up sponge balls? It's all terrible, but at least like you've got the rest of the show to build on after you show a kid's plastic cups and balls. Like at least you can say something like, "This is how I got started in magic," or whatever.
Well, Jesse's saying that like that there's a really good options as far as he's concerned. Well, they
may have just described many magicians' shows. Yes, they open with cups and balls they bought from a box, and then they end with audience participation, and the balls end up in their hand. Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
but if I have to, what are you choosing?
Look, I'm thinking. Look, I love the cups and balls, and I used to close my shows with it, but I would be more than happy to open with it. Like it's a very strong opener. And if I was gonna do it with plastic cups, I would just do it with like the really cool, like the ones like the red with the white rim, like the ones you see in those like sorority type movies and stuff. Like with the the keggers. Like I would use those, and I think that would look cool.
Yeah.
And you could really take it to like that. Is it David Regal that does something like that, where like he produces little shot glasses in between stuff? You could probably do like smaller ones beyond that. Or is it Sean Farquhar who does like a routine like that,
Well, there is, and someone in the chat will mention it, there is a magician who does an amazing sequence of cups and balls where they start with the kids' cups and balls, move to the pro ones, and then the ending is everything like the kids' ones ends up underneath the pro ones.
That's
as
right.
a load and
That's
such
right.
and such. Very creative thinking. I've similarly been thinking about like these Rubik's cubes I picked up recently. I found these in a toy store, and they move very well. They only cost me 50 cents per cube, which is insane.
Dude, I was trying to find them online. I actually think that they made a mistake, because when I checked online, you can only buy the 2x2 cubes for 50 cents, and those ones actually no. So I think that store specifically made a big mistake, and you just cleaned up. But yeah, because I was like, I'm going to buy some, because I've always wanted to do the artwork that people do with those ones. But I didn't want to spend $10 a cube to do like a $2,000 piece of artwork, and customize it and put like a Porsche on there or something like that. You know what I mean? So
right. Now, Jesse's asking what cube it is. So it's called the actual branding on the box says it's a 357 speed up is what they've called it. 357 speed up is like the brand on the box. It doesn't even say the word Rubik's Cube. And so I can do all the normal stuff that I would with a cube I buy from Henry Harris, but it's so much cheaper, which makes me think, like, ideally, great, then I can use these in shows, give them away, I'm spending less money. But when I showed this to the amazing Nigel at Theatre of Magic, he's like, the thing is with this one, though, it does look a lot more kiddie than the ones I'm using. So then the question, because when you actually hear feeling this, it does feel a lot more plasticky.
You can hear it, dude. It literally sounds like sandpaper.
Hang on.
Like,
yeah, like although but the thing is, I can do all of the normal ungimmicked magic that I would with another cube with this one. Like you would have no problem, Nick, using it. But yeah, so the question is kind of like with the cups and balls, like could I get away with using this in a show? And my thought is maybe I use it as a building upon thing, where I use this first and I say, this is the first kind of cube I ever got as a kid. And then I move into like the more, I don't want to say adult looking ones because they're still a puzzle, but then I move into the nicer looking ones, I don't know. So cups and balls is what we're agreeing on.
I'm going
at
with
the end of the day.
man. Yep. Yeah, I'm going with the cups. Yeah.
All right. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. Number 6. Would you rather accidentally leave your thumb tip on the dinner table or drop your invisible thread loop while shaking a booker's hand?
I'm thinking.
Would you rather lose your thumb tip? So is it basically saying at a gig, would you rather lose your thumb tip or lose your invisible thread?
I think I'd rather lose my thread because no one's going to see that I've lost my thread as it is invisible.
Yeah, true.
I think losing a thumb tip or something of that nature would be tough. I was reminded of a story recently about Darren Brown doing a show and him having a particular type of gimmick on his thumb. It could have been something to the effect of like a nail writer or some sort of thumb tip of that nature. And what happened was in the middle of a show, it had come off and it fell and like went on the stage. And it was kind of like, everyone was like, kind of, oh, what was that? And the way he played it off was genius because he just like grabbed it and was like, oh, and then walked over to a table like it was a bolt that had come off a prop. And then just like pretended to fix the prop while putting it back on his thumb and then just sort of like went back. But I was like, that is very clever thinking, you know?
Smart.
Yeah. So I think that I would rather lose something invisible so that no one sees I've lost it than losing a thumb tip where everyone's like, what's this thumb doing here?
The annoying thing with loops is I always break them not when I'm performing. It's always when I reach into my pocket and it gets snagged on something or I don't think I've gotten it caught on shaking someone's hand, but it's always not when I'm performing. It always breaks from just trivial stuff. And I'm like, God damn it. That's
And only when you're gigging. Like you wear it on their day to day. You go to the gym, you sit in the sauna, you have a shower, you literally have balls of lint gathering around this thing. And you're looking at your wrist being like, I can see it from here. Like it's gathered so much dust and moss. And then you put a fresh one for a gig and then you high five someone and it snaps. Like, it's just like, why?
Yeah.
You know?
It gets caught on their watch or got, do you do this? I always know now to take my jackets off while like stretching my fingers out so that when the sleeves come off, it can't pull the loop off my hand. Because so many times it would just take it off with my jacket and I'd be like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm
going to break some. I think the guys the thumb chip is cheaper than the loops. That's a good point there.
That is true.
Yeah. You know what would be funnier if the thumb tip was shaped like a dick, and so like because you would be on your thumb, and no one's supposed to see the thumb tip anyway. But if it ever did get left behind, it's like, what's this dick doing here? I reckon that'd be weird.
That'd be a little weird, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. On to the next one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Would you rather only be able to perform card tricks or never touch playing cards again? So I'll just reiterate. Card tricks and only card tricks for the rest of your days, or be able to do everything in the world except card tricks. This does require some thought. It's a tough one.
I'm going to need to see what the chat thinks about that one because, boy, do I love me some card magic.
Can you use other cards? Index cards? Is that what you're sort of meaning? Like, yeah. Coin magic is superior. It would break my heart to let go of coin magic, which is, as it's my favorite discipline in magic, as it is Alex's as well. But coin tricks can't play as big as cards just because the prop themselves aren't as big. Yeah.
Eric Jones once talked about him trying to put on a coin show. He's like, I'm going to put on a show that's purely coin magic. And then afterwards he said, it turned out that was a terrible idea. And there's only so much you can do with coins, even how amazing they are.
Yeah. And if Jonesy struggles to do it, what help do us mere mortals have? You know?
I definitely believe you can do, you can do exceptional shows without having to bring out a deck of cards. But are you really fulfilled in your life?
Well, Paul makes a good point here, saying that Darren Brown stopped doing cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I hate mentalism. So, I mean, I don't hate it. It's just that, like, you know, I get tired of tricks that take 3 seconds, but you cram it into 30 minutes. That's all, all this stuff. Yeah.
Damn it. That's so tough.
Think about it. We're talking, okay, look, Alex just said it well. We're talking no loops, no book tests, no coin magic, no sponges, no cubes, no cups and balls, nothing. No double cross. All right?
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then cards are just, I feel so at home with cards, like even not performing, just having them, having a pack nearby, you know what I mean? And having that deck with you is fantastic. If I wasn't a professional performer, I would happily just stick to only ever touching cards again because they're just such a fun thing. But yeah, doing it professionally, I would have to give up my love and send the cards away, I think. Yeah. I'm thinking to last night, I did a corporate show and my first corporate show for the year, actually. And I'm only bringing out cards in the last 8 minutes of a 30-minute show. And I could have put something in its place instead, but if I'd come on that stage and tried to do 30 minutes of just cards, I would have a lot of fun, but it wouldn't have the same dynamics and fun, I think, as the other option. So
I tell you what, I wasn't thinking this at first, but after what you just said, I'm going to say this. I would give up cards so long as I can keep my index.
I'll let you have that. Sure.
All right. Then that's what I would do, because I would probably have to just change a discipline from a card trick to like there's no replacement for a card trick, right? Like it's not like, well, instead of cards, use it's like, okay, so for example, well, don't use coins, use poker chips. Like you could substitute something. There truly is, to my knowledge, no substitute for a card trick.
Some would say you use cheese instead, but
imagine roving with cheese. I mean, I would love that. Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. What about Lucky Ladybug? Is that a card trick?
Yeah. Shout out to Buck. He sent me a message. I'm sure he sent you one too.
He did.
Thanking us for mentioning Lucky Ladybug on the pod. And we are big advocates of it.
Big fans.
It's trick of the year. People don't really see it. It's not a card trick because people don't remember the cards. They remember a ladybug disappearing from the magician and appearing on them.
Okay.
I think that's still okay. Okay. Yeah. So figuring out what the index would be another conversation, I guess.
As long as I get to keep the index, I'm going to go everything else, because I would probably walk around. I'd probably start walking around with a Rubik's Cube all the time and just like do nothing but Rubik's Cube magic and then coins and then this and then that. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
No color monkey. Yeah. All right.
Let's carry on. Very good.
All right. Next one.
Would you rather forget the method mid-performance or forget the presentation and end up silently doing the trick like a confused robot? So you forget the method or you forget the presentation?
The method?
Yikes.
Forget the method or forget the presentation? Crap.
Well, if you forget the method, aren't you dead in the water either way? Because then you can't do the presentation because you can't get to that. But okay, I have definitely had moments where it's been so long since I've done a trick that I have forgotten them. Like I have had to really think about it mid show. I'm like, oh God, this normally happens automatically, but I can't remember what I do in this moment. That has happened to me. But forgetting a presentation of why you do a thing.
Here's where my head's at.
Yeah.
The method for something doesn't have to be amazing in order for it to be a good presentation. Like you can see someone do a trick, right? And the presentation's so nice. It's so nice. But like the method, nothing mind blowing. It's, oh, he used a biddle count and, and a pinky break. Like that's not anything that's going to change the world, right? And you could fluck your way through something if it's piss piddly small trick or whatever it might be, just in this example. But where my head is that if you did the most perfect execution of method and second deals and whatever it might be, but your presentation is porridge, that's a crap trick. But if your presentation is good and your method kind of sucks, then the trick, in my opinion, still, that's the lesser of the evils, is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to go with muffing up the method because you can jazz through something. Like, I'm going to go with that.
Okay. And I, to play the advocate, will go with forgetting your script, because then you've still got a strong method, but you can, as Jesse's saying, you can trailblaze and go off script and improv around it. Both are not ideal, but those are our answers. In the chat, everyone's saying, so iFood is saying, that's why you only do self-working tricks. Scott saying both are a fatal flaw. Absolutely. Alex is saying he'd take the option B because presentations can evolve in the moment all the time. Jesse, off script baby, trailblazing. Tim's agreeing with Jesse. Yeah. So they're saying they'd rather not have presentation, but in the moment, it really does make you look slow and uncalculated and messy when you're mumbling your way through a performance with no presentation. Both are terrible. Anyway, that sucks.
All right.
But,
okay, I got one. Are you ready?
Hang on. Ready.
Would you rather have your most embarrassing gig go viral or have your best performance mistaken for a CGI camera trick and everyone in the world calls you fake?
Oh, so both videos are going viral, but for different reasons.
Well, they're both going viral for crappy reasons, yeah.
Yeah. So one is it's a shitty performance, but it goes viral. Or second one is good performance, but goes viral because everyone's saying it's fake.
Yeah. You know what I'm reminded of? Remember that trick that what was his name? I forget his name who did it, but he produced the bread. He did this and then just produced a roll of bread that was 6 feet long.
Yes. But that was actually CGI, was it not?
He has done it live, and it was they had built a whole set, and it was black art, and they kind of flashed it as the trick ended. There was his box, a black art box that he kind of did a thing.
There's somewhat of a compliment in people saying that your trick is fake. I've had not viral tricks, but definitely on a daily basis, people are saying that the audiences that I'm using are stooges or plants, or the whole audience is in on it. It's all fake. It's a fake video.
Yeah.
And I kind of find a bit of gratification in that, because I'm like, well, if that's all your brain can conclude to being the method, fantastic.
Yeah, let's not mistake Leonard Green, who had to compete twice at FISM to win his award, because the first time it happened, they believed that the person shuffling the deck in his routine was a Confederate, and then the next time he competed, he actually got the judges to participate in his routine, to which they had nothing to say except for, "You're brilliant, here's your award." So,
and that also happened to Helder Gamiras. He got accused of having a stooge duplicate the same signature he had prepared or whatever, because there was a sign card folded up, predicted under a wine glass.
Yeah.
And it was too perfect, him being able to remove the wine glass, take that card, show that it was her signed card.
Yeah.
And I think he didn't. I think he had to show the judges the method or something like that.
Yeah.
For them to actually consider him in the competition.
Yeah.
I think I would like to be accused of CGI, because then at least you can be like, well, come and see me live, and then you can still do it,
Yeah, agreed.
A crappy gig going viral, like, I mean, sometimes it is a matter of perspective, and you may think it's a crappy gig, but there might be elements that is the reason why it's viral and people like that in some way. And so sometimes it's in our own heads a little bit, but
yeah,
I think I'd take the CGI.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go CGI. Okay. We got time for a couple more before we wrap up. Why don't you press on with the next one?
Yeah. All right. I've got one on my end, but would you rather be Would you rather be forced to wear a glittery cape for all future gigs, or introduce yourself at every show as the Great Norbido in a dramatic voice, as in like the great, and then say your name?
Oh, I'm the Great Nick K.
Yeah, at every show. Or wear a glittery cape.
Oh, okay, wait. Can we make it worse by saying, like, every time you approach a table, hi guys, how are you doing? My name is the Great Nick K, and it's my job to show you magic this evening. Is now a good time? Am I interrupting conversation?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
And you've even got a little speaker on you, so it's like, I am the Great Norbido. Would you like to pick a card? Or is now a good time, or should I come back later?
You get this megaphone out and you got to do the whole So
my name is the Great Norbido. Would you like to see my card stuff, my coin stuff, or my award-winning stuff?
Okay.
The glittery cape actually low-key could work because it's people would remember that. Like, oh, I love the guy who wore the glittery cape.
For all future gigs, the glittery. Oh my God.
I mean, we're talking Piff the Magic Dragon, you know, we're talking like, maybe it's a thing that's stupid and for no reason, but it does allow people to remember you as a brand.
Man. I have performed in a cape before. Just to be clear, I have performed in a cape before. It was fun. it was good, but man, if you were going to use a cape, you'd have to like really use the cape. You would have to like produce a lamb or something. You know what I mean? Like you would have to just really take it somewhere, you know?
Yeah, you have to own it basically.
You have to take it somewhere like really gnarly. You know what I mean? But I'm going to probably announce my name because I would rather people remember who I am than remember, like, there was this guy in a cape. I don't know his name, though.
You know who we should ask is Bob Possible, because I'm pretty sure he does wear a cape at his gigs.
I'll be honest. I actually did, after doing gigs in a cape for a couple of events, talk to my tailor about making one. So you can't knock it.
Because here's the thing, like, is there a way to make wearing a cape cool? Like, if it is made with flattering material to fit your suit.
But this has to be glittery, just to be clear. This has to be glittery.
Fuck, that's right. It has to be.
I don't disagree with the cape. It's the glitter that puts me off. Like the glitter.
Yeah, it's messed up, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what'd be funny is to like do a serious show and just not address it. The fact that you're wearing it.
That is pretty funny. But the thing is, even when you're sitting down, you put it like you toss it behind you, right? And the one that I wore was heavy. It was like a quilt, man. And it's choking me the whole time because you got to tie it around your neck. So it wasn't awesome, you know? But yeah. If it wasn't glittery, I would be more inclined to do it.
Yeah.
Especially because I love the idea of like taking it off and then putting it over a table and producing a vase or something like that. Like, yes. But it's only because it's like going against my swagger and my image. Man, I wonder if I could sequence it.
Was the cape era while you were in a band?
I was in a band. Yeah, I'm gonna go with announcing myself. Done. Okay. Where we go?
You weirdo.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember
Darren
Brown. Okay, if you have one, let's do it.
Okay. So, would you rather perform your best trick, okay, but forget to zip up your fly, or perform your worst trick perfectly, but you can't stop sweating.
Whoa.
Right?
No.
So like you have a trick that you do perfect, but the whole time you're doing it, you're just sweating profusely, or you've just done the best trick in the world and your fly's open. And you don't wear underwear. Well, no, you do wear underwear.
Yeah, we can't make it a felony. What's worse? I mean, sweating is terrible because people can't concentrate on the trick because they just see you sweating and they know you're not in a good state and you need to cool down. The fly,
Sweating
they
can
also
be
can't concentrate.
They can forgive sweating on your side of the planet. It's you're like a quarter mile from the sun, you know, in sunny coast. So like it's hot where you at. So
yeah, it's terrible. I mean, look, I have been in situations where I'm sweating. I have not been, I don't think, in a situation where my fly is down. And
I have been in situations where my fly wasn't down, but I'd gone out and bought some new pants and they were snug where the junk is, and all the pants I've bought from there since, I like them for magic, but I have to actually cut this one bit that's where the fly is. I have to cut it so that it loosens up to make more space where the cash and
good for you. Good for you, mate.
Where the cash and prizes goes. But I remember doing my trick and a lady going, "Your fly's undone," and I look down and I go, "No, it's zipped up. I'm just Nick K."
Wow, what a flex.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It reminds me of that clip where the policeman is patting down that man and he's like, "What's this?" And the guy's like,
That's my penis.
That's my dick. Oh yeah, that's my penis. And the guy's like, "Oh, okay." Keeps patting him down. Nice. Yeah, I guess I guess I go sweating only because like that's what I'm used. Like I have been in that position before, and it's not an embarrassing thing. It's just unfortunate. Okay, what about this? What about like a similar scenario, but would you take this? So you have the ability to, would you take this power? So you have the ability to have anyone shuffle a deck of cards, all hands off. They sit the deck in their hands. And you can do the perfect Akan every time. Hands off. They shuffle. They can name a card, name a number. It's there, but you always have a half booger at your nostril during that performance. Would you take that power?
What color is the booger? Is it proper green?
It's it's not a healthy clear yellow. It's like a green, like you
almost
haven't left
like
the house for a week,
like a kryptonite rock, sitting there, like just right there on your beard.
And there's like a bit of crust around it because it's been there for a while.
Oh fuck!
But you can absolutely nail this Akan that will fool the entire world. But you've got the booger.
Left nostril or right nostril?
I mean, you can pick the nostril.
Right nostril.
Okay.
Because then I would.
Sure.
Well, this is my good side, my left. So if I just turn my head to the left while I do, someone sits there.
If you don't think people aren't going to see that booger, you're poorly
the
mistaken.
Booger is that big?
No, it's just like, it's at least like, it's at least like half. It's like, it's like to here. It's like to your mustache, where your mustache starts.
It's sitting on your mustache.
It's like at least, just kissing the top of it. But it's like, it's noticeably there where someone wants to just grab it and flick it away. But it just appears every time you do this Akan, because the Akan is so perfect and impossible and hands off. But it's
every time you remove it, what happens? Another one takes its place?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah. but only while you're doing that Akan.
Shit, that sucks.
Mm.
You'd almost want to be like, I'm gonna wear a mask. I'm gonna wear a mask for this one.
Yeah.
And then you take the mask off and 1,000 boogers fall out. Like that's
gnarly, hey. Literally pick a card.
Okay, you know what?
Alex Lamb is saying, Akon is boring, no deal. I'll die on that hill. Well, I don't know, man. If you got hecklers, that's a pretty great way to kill a heckler or a skeptic because think about it. You ask them to bring a deck from home, they shuffle it, they name a card and the number, and it's there every time. It's just that you got a little show and tell each time as well.
Wow. Imagine doing this on the radio. Like, imagine doing this on the radio where you like every single person, grab a deck right now, give it a shuffle, name any playing card, and then count down to that. And then someone like radio presenter, and it's just like, oh, imagine, that's mass hysteria.
Yeah. I'll take the booga. I'll take the booga.
If you did it for one person, a booga happens. If you do it for an audience, you shit your pants. Would you still do it?
Yeah, well, I have Crohn's, as I said, so sometimes in a flare-up, that's very possible that could happen.
Dude, I'm going to end on this. I'm going to end the show. Like, if I could do a trick so great that I walked into a theater with 4,000 people or whatever it is, you walk into Rod Laver Arena, everyone reach under your chair, everyone grab a deck of playing cards, shuffle a deck, name a card. One person names a card. You name a number. They name a number. You count down to that number. Everyone turns around and every single person has that card, but then you shit your pants. I'll tell you right now, I'm shitting my pants.
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.